So, here I am back again. I know 2 videos in one day. For those who sat through the 20 minutes of me putting on eye makeup, I'm very sorry. I just really hate how people keep bothering me about that. I'm gonna do an angry blog now. Sort of. You know, I'm not gonna go Hulk mad, Hulk smash, sort of thing. But it's about parents, and I know a lot of parents out there are gonna sit there and say, "Wait a minute, you don't have kids. You don't have any right to speak up." Look, I have to put up with your kids, all right? I have to put up with the general public at large has to put up with your kids. If you don't discipline your kids, we have every right to speak up. You know, I do not understand parents nowadays. When I was a kid, if I did something wrong, I was told to stop. If I continued, I got disciplined. You know, and it would be various degrees. Either I would be put on restriction or grounded, whatever you want to call. Something I liked would be taken away. Like, there was actually several years where I was only allowed to listen to an hour of music a day because I was doing so poorly in some classes, and my parents decided that music was distracting me from my homework because I listened to music while I did my homework, which it didn't. In that case, it didn't help. You know, I just did poorly because my self-esteem is so doggone low, and I didn't see any point. But yeah, and if I really pushed the boundaries, I would get spanked. You know, and I don't know why so many people are so against the spanking. It's abuse. It's abuse. No, if it's abuse if you flat out beat your kids. It's abuse if you hit them in the face. If you give them 5 slaps on the butt where they already have extra padding to begin with, and you're not like wham, 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 right? You know, but you know, just firm, but not Hulk smash. It's not abuse, all right? And if you use it as a last resort, that's what I'm talking about. Use it as a last resort. But so many parents are against discipline nowadays, and I don't understand it. They let their kids run wild through the restaurants, all right? I've been to so many stores where the kids are on those stupid Heelys, those shoes that turn into skates, and they're actually purposely trying to knock old people down. When I was a kid, up until I was about 12, I had to stay by mom's side. I had to keep one hand on the cart at all times, you know, or then once I got a little bit older, I was allowed to go and help her get things, you know, but I could not, wasn't allowed to run wild through the grocery stores, or, you know, and you see parents drop their kids off at the toy section in stores, and they go off, do their own little thing where their kids destroy hundreds of dollars worth of merchandise. You know, it's ridiculous. They don't do anything about it. There's 2 reasons why I bring this up, and one is the parent who is blaming the BBC because their child is using the C word. All right, I don't know how to pronounce Peter's last name. I wish I did. I was at work when it was announced he was going to be the 12th Doctor, and yes, for those who might have seen it, because I know at least one person saw it, I did have a brief, for like 10 minutes, a rant about people saying nasty things about Peter, but then I thought about it, because I don't script these things, I say them off the top of my head, whatever the heck is in my brain, and I word things really badly because I don't script them out, you know, and because I say what the first thought that pops into my head, I say things that people can misinterpret, and I decided, you know, this is a bad video, I'm going to take it down. So, but anyway, so Peter was cast as the 12th Doctor. I'm glad, because finally a doctor I can be sexually attracted to. I love older men, and, you know, I love guys built like Peter, though his nose is not big enough. I like big noses, and I cannot lie. Right? That's why I don't find Jack Harkness attractive. I realize he wouldn't find me attractive either. No man would, but, you know, his nose is not big enough. But anyway, so the kid Googles Peter up and starts calling their parent the C word, and the parent's blaming the BBC. I didn't realize the BBC's job was to raise your child. All right? Your child's 8 years old. Your child should not be going on the internet without being monitored. All right? You should be right there over them, making sure that they're not looking at Pornhub or RedTube or Tub Girl, and that there's no pedophiles talking to them, trying to convince them to pose naked or something. That's what you should be right there. Okay? I wasn't allowed to have a TV in my room until I was like 10 years old. All right? I had to watch what Mom and Dad watched. There was one TV in the house, and that was in the living room, and everything I watched was monitored by them. All right? That's what a parent does. Once I was 10 years old, they decided that, I was mature enough, and I might actually have been older than 10. But they decided, she doesn't watch bad shows. Yeah, she watches the A-Team and she watches MacGyver, but she knows that violence is wrong. Okay, there's a time and place for violence. If you walk in on a pedophile or a rapist, use all the violence you want in the world on them. Okay, the world's a better place without rapists and pedophiles. But if, otherwise, just try to find better ways to deal with a situation. But that's what they did. That's what parents do. They monitor what their children do online, and they monitor what their children watch, and they monitor the video games that they play. Parents that allow their children to play Grand Theft Auto are asking for trouble. Okay? So it's your fault that your child is calling you the C word. All right? What you do is, first you tell them that that's not the right thing to do, and you explain to them why. If they persist on doing it, you put them on restriction or ground them or whatever you want to call it. Then you take something that they really love away for a while. Whether it's a toy or the TV. The kid's a big, huge Doctor Who fan. Tell them that they're not allowed to watch Doctor Who for a month because they keep calling you the C word. All right? If that doesn't work, you wash their mouth out with soap. All right? And if that doesn't work, you spank them. That's, just as an absolute last resort. And you tell them you're getting spanked because you keep using a word I told you not to use. And there's a time and place to use that word, all right? If you see somebody that you know for sure is a murderer, all right, that there's evidence that they go out and kill people, then you can call them the C word all you want, all right? But you don't call your parent the C word unless your parent is killing you. That's a really bad thing to say, but no. You tell them there's a time and place. There's a time and place for every word in the world, all right? I try not to curse because I just don't really care about the words. Yeah, there are times when they slip out because I've watched too many movies. Sometimes with those words in it, and it's just like forefront in my mind. Gosh, my nose sounds stuffy. But, if you shoot yourself in the foot, yeah, use the F word if you want. Okay, so, parent who's blaming the BBC for your child using the C word, you're an idiot. It's your job to teach your child not to use that word. It's not the BBC's. All right? Your fault, not the BBC's. Your fault. The other one I want to bring up, and I don't like sports. I got to start that out. I don't like sports. I have absolutely no idea who Brian Holloway is, except I know that he's a victim of a crime. Apparently, he is a retired NFL star. While he was gone, 300 teenagers broke into his house and vandalized it. They threw a party. They did drugs. They drank. They had sex. They did graffiti all over the walls. They stole a statue that was in memory of his stillborn grandson. Stole it. Okay, here's the statue that he had that was in memory of a grandson that he probably, while it was developing in the mom's womb, he was thinking all these wonderful things that he was going to do, and he was going to teach him how to throw the perfect spiral and take him fishing and all this fun stuff, and then the child is born and the child is dead. All right, can you imagine how heartbreaking that is? Can you imagine? And that statue was in honor of that child that never got to live. that and these heartless little brats break into his house and steal it. Well, when they did that, they also took pictures of themselves. Dad must be working out in the yard. They took all these pictures of themselves, and they themselves posted it on the internet. They posted all these pictures of them being a bunch of little sociopaths all over the internet. And I'm going to move a little bit here because my legs are hurting. So these pictures and tweets and everything was already out there by their own hands. Brian finds them, collects them all together, and puts them on a website called Save the 300. Rather than pressing charges, all he asks is that the kids come out and help him clean up his house and return the statue. All right? 50 people show up, and only one of them is the kid from the party. One of them is one kid from the party. 300. The other 299 never show up, and now the parents are threatening to sue Brian for the pictures their own children posted being on his website. Keep in mind, the children broke into his house. The children vandalized his house. The children stole from his house. The children posted those pictures themselves. They are already public domain because they're out there on the internet because they put them out there them own selves. And the parents want to sue the victim. No. 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 Bad parents. Bad, bad, bad parents. All right? Here's what you do. You find out your kid is one of those kids that vandalized this house and stole a statue that was in memory of a stillborn baby. You put them across your knee. I don't care how old they are, whether they're, you put them across your knee and you spank them. All right? They've done something that truthfully is pretty close to unforgivable. All right? Don't pass go, don't collect $200, just put them across your knee and you tell them you did the wrong thing. And then you take them to jail. Well, you take them to Brian and you tell him you have a choice. You can either help this man clean up the mess that you made and return what you stole from him, or I'm taking you directly to the police station and I'm throwing you in jail. Those are your choices. You need to be like that mother who turned her child in when she found out that he robbed an 80-year... was he 80? I don't know. I just know he was an older man, a war veteran. I believe he was in his 80s. She turned her child in. That's what a real parent does. A real parent makes their child face the consequences of their bad choices. Right? If your child threatens to kill somebody, you punish them. And I don't mean... I know somebody whose idea of punishing her child when he pulls knives on people is to take his earrings out. She doesn't ground him. She doesn't tell him why this is wrong. She takes his earrings out. All right? And this kid is total... he's always threatening to kill people. And I swear he needs to be on the FBI watch list. All right? That's her idea of a punishment. No. Your children made a terrible choice, and you are making an even worse choice. Your children put those pictures on the internet. It's your children's fault. And by suing Brian, you are saying, oh, there's no consequences to you being an idiot other than us getting rich quick. That's what you're doing. You're doing a get rich quick scheme. You are as bad as a person pouring juice in a grocery store and purposely slipping in it so you can sue the grocery store for $50,000. All right? Bad parents. Bad, bad, bad parents. Right? If your children act up, you discipline them. Period. If your children run around a grocery store and try to purposely knock people over while wearing those stupid Heelys, you punish them. You make them stay with you. I don't care how bored they get. You make them stay with you. If your children ruin $100 worth of merchandise in a store, You pay for that merchandise, and then you take it out of your children's allowance, and you make them scrub toilets, and you make them clean the garage, and you make them work. They are not allowed to have a single video game or any sort of fun until they work that money off. If your children are running around in a restaurant, you pick them up, you put them in their seat, you tell them, you stay here, I don't care how bored you are, what you are doing is dangerous. All right? By running around the restaurant, you're going to have a waiter trip over you, and he's going to spill hot soup on you, and you are going to get second-degree burns, and it's going to be because you didn't sit still. It's not the waiter's fault. Okay? Quit putting the blame on other people. Quit saying that it's video games, or that it's music, or that it's religion, or that it's science, or that it's genetics. If your child is bad, the first responsibility of you for you to have is to say to your child, you did bad. You are being punished. As a parent, it is your job to teach your child how to be a proper adult. It is not your job to be their best friend. It's not your job to be their buddy. It is your job to love them unconditionally. But you are there to teach them also how to be a proper adult. And a proper adult does not break into somebody's house, graffiti somebody's house, steal from somebody's house, and then turn around and sue the victim. You people make me so angry because you're doing such a bad job of parenting. I don't care what you think of me. Everybody else agrees with me, actually. I've talked to a lot of other people about this. Right? And they all agree with me. You're doing a bad job of parenting. You march your kids down to Brian's house, and you tell them they have a choice between helping him clean up and jail. That is what a real parent does.